You mentioned earlier that you took ADHD medicine.
Yeah, Vyvanse.
You just got diagnosed?
Yeah. Well, I did like a year ago, but I didn't realize how bad it was until more recently. And now after being medicated, I'm like, oh.
Is it helping?
I mean,
yeah, we haven't had any cuts yet.
I feel like I just get very in my head and I overthink everything. And I realize a lot of my social anxiety comes from not being present in conversation, which comes from ADHD. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I still struggle with social anxiety, but I think a lot of it is being like, shit, I forgot her name, or da-da-da-da. Like, oh, like, what's the last name?
You're thinking about other things while you're in the conversation?
Yeah, so it just gets me out of the conversation.
Did you go there to try and get diagnosed for it? Or
No, so I met up with a psychiatrist for my anxiety, and she was like, oh, yeah, you definitely have anxiety. So I sound mental. Then she put me on Zoloft.
Did you want to go on these things?
Then, yeah, I was desperate. That was like 2020. I want to slowly get off my anxiety meds because now I feel like I want to just have a better handle on it. And I don't want to be on it forever because that's scary to me. But also, like, I feel like I've lived more of a better life now, more full life now, instead of just being so anxious all the time. But then with ADHD, she had diagnosed me years ago. She's like, yeah, you definitely have ADHD, like, and tendencies, blah, blah, blah. And then we really dove into it more. And I was like, wow, everything made sense.
What's that process like?
It's literally just her asking you a shit ton of questions.
And you just saying, I am like this. I'm not like this.
Yeah, she'll be like, are you a really messy person? Do you find yourself, are you a driven person? Like, just like random ass questions. Like, and for instance, one, I'm like, oh, I know you're asking because OCD has to do with that. Like, do you find yourself rechecking things a lot, whether it's like that doors are locked or like, da-da-da. And I'd be like, no. You do?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have OCD, but like maybe you do.
I do. I have to check the door handles. I walk back to my car to make sure that it locks. I check the alarm every night like 4 times to make sure that it's still on.
Okay, so why do you check multiple times? Is it like, oh shit, like I need to make sure it's...
Yeah. So yesterday we went to a WWE event and we're walking and I was like, I ran all the way back to the car to make sure that my mirrors were folded in. Uh-huh. And then I went forward. And then every night I make sure the garage is shut. It's just like I check multiple times though. I'm like, what if the last time I opened up the app, I accidentally hit open?
Yeah. Wow. So it's a control thing?
I guess.
Or just like you can't relax until you know it's done.
Right. But even when I know it's done, I still can't relax because I think, oh shit, what if I accidentally press it?
Or you thought you did, but you really didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I have some OCD tendencies too.
That's OCD?
Mm-hmm. But there's 2 types of OCD I've learned. There's like that kind where it's like I need my labels straight.
No, I'm not that guy.
And then there's like more mental, and I'm more mental.
I'm the mental one.
Yeah, but it's all a spectrum and it all like varies, so it's not like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly have really, another huge thing for me, can't finish combos. I always would interrupt Remy on the podcast, and we had a few like not fights about it, but we definitely had a few like, hey, like, she was like, I really need you to work on this. Like, it's hard because I'll feel myself shut down. I was like, oh my God, I don't intend to at all. In my head, we're having a conversation. And then all the comments were like, Alisha, you always interrupt Remy. And I was like, I didn't realize I did until, like, so it's just weird having your life that way out on the internet because I feel like I would have even seen that side to my ADHD. Because to me, I'm like, oh, I thought we were just having a conversation. But by that time, I forget what she was even talking about. So why would I remember that I cut her off? Like, I did it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So when you watch it back, though, and you saw those comments in that moment, do you realize that you're cutting off? Or you're
yeah.
No, it's just a conversation.
No. When I watch it back, I'm like, oh, I see that. But also, we edit it to make it look good. You know what I mean?
Right. When you watch it back, did that make you want to change that at all?
Yeah, it just made me... I think that was a huge part where I'm just like, wow, I want to be more present in conversations. And that's something I've always struggled with, of just wanting to feel more present. And I feel like a lot of it's up here.
Right.
Unfortunately.
That's why I love filming myself doing anything and just watching it back, like even when I'm hitting the boxing bag.
Yeah.
Because you see how hard you're actually going and how your like back is not aligned perfectly and your feet aren't in the right moment.
Yes.
Like it's hard to really do something and then watch yourself.
Also, I can hyper focus like a fucking crazy person.
What does that mean?
Like, I know you can too. Like, when I'm editing, if I'm in an editing hole, I'm just so focused and you can't pull me away from it. Like, I'm working.
Yeah,
I have, and that's me. There's standard and then there's like a lot. Like everyone can get like focused at times, but I'm going to edit till the sun rises situation without
Nothing.
other help,
The house could be
other
on fire, but I
stimulants.
need to finish this.
Yeah,
edit.
but you're like, it bothers me to walk away right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's more of, it's a that thing. So it's like, do I have a good work ethic or am I just insane?
And what is it?
And I feel like it's a mix of both. And I swear most influencers are the latter.
Right.
Like, I feel like we're all kind of crazy and we're like quirky
right.
and we have our things and we're like the content.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a us thing.
That's so interesting.
Maybe I'm, I don't know. But like, you have to be kind of weird to like film yourself, watch it back multiple times, edit it for hours, post it, read comments, do it again the next day,
Right. But even in the beginning, it was always a form of like creativity, I felt like.
Yeah. And I don't feel like it's necessarily always a narcissistic situation. I think a lot of it can also just be like, we get obsessed with it and we're just like, wow, like I love this,
Yeah.